Allah Yahweh Shem Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations and peace to the Akim on the four corners of the earth, posting the word and truth and sincerity. This is Ira from Great Millstone, Wisconsin. Today I just wanted to speak on, stubbornness, man. Stubbornness and hard, and being hard-headed. Especially these other Israelite groups. They're stubborn and hard-headed, man. They're stubborn in their wickedness. Stubborn in their own vain thoughts, man. But the Lord has made us stubborn as well. But we're stubborn in Yahweh Shem Shai. We're stubborn in the truth and in righteousness. They're stubborn in wickedness. And brothers niggas like Nate and Yahweh Snob and all these other clowns like HODC, and you got the GOCC, you got Sakari and his whole whatever that is, and these people they're just stubborn, man, and they have no spirituality whatsoever. They can't stand to see Yahweh Shem Shai in his glory as he is. They have to change the doctrine. They have to be totally contrary. They got to add their 2 cents in. And their 2 cents, what they don't understand is their 2 cents don't matter, man. And then they come up with delusions like we're trying to kill them and everything. That's not ethical, man. They're just grasping at straws. They're desperate, so they're just reaching for anything they can, man. You got the limmer going, and now he wants to go into the Greek for some odd reason, but he's bringing up words that don't even match. Just to try and prove a point that he doesn't even have, man. But what they don't understand is the reason why they can't triumph over us, over Great Millstone, over the men of the Lord, is because the Lord has made our heads maybe stronger, just as strong, and even stronger as theirs, man. But the thing is, we're strong in righteousness. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant harder than flint, have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. So our heads are just as hard as theirs, man. Like 2 bulls going at it and bumping their heads, and only one survives because one's head is harder than the other. That's what's happening right now, man. Great Millstone and the rest of those camps are bumping heads, but all those other camps are getting tired, man. So they're just trying to come up with whatever distraction they can to stay alive. This is Acts chapter 7, verse 51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears. And I wanted to go into this word, stiff-necked, which means stubborn, headstrong, obstinate. To be totally opposite, man. So Israel is stubborn, man. Especially these so-called Israelite camps. They don't want to hear anything that's contrary to what they think and what they think that the Lord's doctrine should be, what they think the Lord should be, what they think His name should be, what they think He should look like, man. They're just like the rest of the world, personifying the Most High, man. But for their own personal gain. They're not out here to feed the elect. They're out here to feed their pockets in their own vain ammunitions, man. And the word uncircumcised is a metaphor. It says, those whose heart and ears are covered. An example, whose soul and senses are closed to divine admonition. So their senses are closed, man, to the spirituality of the Most High. They have no spirituality. So they can't see what we see. They can't see the Gentiles. They can't see Cornelius being an Israelite. They can't see in the multitude, and the elect is not going. Everyone's not going to look like Shaft, man. They can't see the chip being the mark of the beast. They can't see not accepting homosexuality. They can't see any of the spiritual aspects of the truth, and it's sad. But that's how they chose. The Lord gave them that strong delusion, man. The Lord is the one that calcified their pineal glands and cut off their spirituality. It says, whose soul and senses are closed to divine admonition. And since I said the pineal gland is calcified, I wanted to go into the definition. It says calcified, hardened by deposition of or conversion into calcium carbonate or some other insoluble calcium compounds. And if you know anything about the pineal gland, which I'm going to read in a second, when it says your pineal gland is calcified, meaning there's calcium or salt buildup on that gland. And if you know, the pineal gland is your spiritual aspect of your brain, and it becomes hard after a while. Now I wanted to go a little bit into it, and this is from ascensionlifestyle.org. It says the pineal gland, calcification, and why you should care. The pineal gland is one of the most mysterious glands of the human body. It is a pea-sized gland in the precise geometric center of the brain that comes from the root word pinea, which is in Latin for pine cone. It is responsible for the synthesis and secretion of the hormone melatonin. Melatonin maintains the body's circadian rhythm or sleep cycle, regulates the onset of puberty in females, helps protect the body from cell damage caused by free radicals, and much, much more. Let's see. I'll just cut to the bottom of this paragraph. It says, in many cultures, it is spiritually referred to as the third eye, and science seems to agree. This is what the pineal gland actually looks like in your brain. And this is the Egyptian, the Egyptian third eye. But it says, besides regulating sleep patterns and sexual development, many researchers believe that it has the ability to connect us to other dimensions, like the dream world, spiritual realms, such as deep meditation. So this gland is what connects us. It's what helps us connect us to the spiritual aspect of the Most High, man. This is what connects, this is what connects us to our visions, our dreams, our spiritual discernment, but if this is calcified, there's no way that the Lord can beam those visions to you, man, and that spiritual discernment, and those breakdowns, man. The Lord, so when the Lord gives you strong delusion, He calcifies that pineal gland and you're shot. It says it occurs naturally in trace amounts of mammals, where it functions as a neurotransmitter and is also produced in human, which is talking about the DMT, dimethyltryptamine, Slakia. However, it is the purpose of brain remains in debate. Let's see. It says French philosopher and mathematician René Descartes, dedicating much time to the study of the pineal gland, called it the principal seat of the soul. He believed it to be the point of connection between the intellect and the body. It appears that the gland is the only section of the brain to exist as a single part, rather than one half of a pair. The gland is thought to be highly active during dreaming, meditation, and spiritual experiences. And the spiritual experience is reading the scriptures, man. So if your pineal gland isn't active when you're reading the scriptures, or if the Lord doesn't activate it, then you're not going to receive any of the breakdowns, man. You're not going to receive any of the spiritual aspects, like discerning whether Cornelius was an Israelite or not, or the Phoenician woman at the well, or the Phoenician woman in the book of Mark, 13th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, or even the woman at the well, or the Ethiopian eunuch. You won't be able to discern any of that, as well as you won't be able to discern his name, which is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, from that trash Jesus Christ, or you won't be able to discern what is the mark of the beast, which is the chip, the RFID chip, Let's see, I got a little bit more here, but I want to go into the effects of the pineal gland and what it actually does. It says studies show that the degree of pineal gland calcification is significantly higher in patients with Alzheimer's disease versus other types of dementia. So what this just said is basically, if your pineal gland is calcified, eventually you're gonna develop dementia or Alzheimer's, which for those who don't know, dementia or Alzheimer's is they're basically diseases where your brain cells start deteriorating and you start forgetting stuff. And it mainly occurs in people that have strokes. A high percentage of people that have strokes and people that have hit their heads a lot, kind of like Parkinson's disease. So basically, you niggas here, along with HODC, GOCC, since you once knew the truth, you niggas got dementia, man. The Lord made you forget. The Lord made you forget, man. He made you forget the truth. He made you forget His name. So we really can't. I really can't be that mad at you, man. I really can't. For you to not know the name, be spreading Jesus Christ. I mean, because the Lord made you forget. The Lord gave you strong delusions, so there's nothing I can actually do about it. But keep pushing the word, man. And yes, I'm going to call you wicked because that's what you are. That's what you all are, but but it was ultimately up to the Lord who made you forget, man. It says, one such study published in the peer-reviewed Journal of Neurology and Neurosurgery and Psychiatry looks specifically at intracranial calcifications in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. And that's what the brains look like: normal brain, mid-cognitive impairment, meaning you might had a slight migraine, made you forget half a day or something like that. And you got Alzheimer's disease. You see this middle part here? This is where your pineal gland is, in the middle here. See? Right here. See, there's nothing but a black hole. So, from your pineal gland going out, the farther your brain, the circumference of your brain, the more and more you start to forget. The more and more brain cells start to disappear. And that's what's happening to Nate and Yawasop, GOCC, HODC, Sakari, Izar, Mike, Gina, Baloo, all of them. This is what's happening to you. This is what's in the middle of your brain. Nothing. And I want to go down to the benefits of decalcification of the pineal gland. These are some of the many benefits of the pineal gland decalcification, include improved sleep and mental health. But here's one of the points though: more vivid dreams and lucid dreams. Since your pineal gland regulates your sleep cycles with melatonin, sleeping better in turn will allow you to dream more vividly and remember your dreams. If you so desire, you will also begin to access control in your dreams. This helps you to realize your infinite self and incredible powers you have. Which, that seems far-fetched, but that's actually true, because you do have dreams to where you're in the spiritual world and you got demons attacking you. So in one way to control yourself in your dreams is calling on the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, calling His name, and suddenly you're able to fight those demons in your dreams, But you can't do that if your pineal gland is calcified, and your brain looks like this, Nate. Can't do that if you don't know the name, You can't fight the demons if you don't know the name. It says, astral projection becomes possible. Your third eye is what connects you to a plane of existence where time and space doesn't exist. And that's right, it connects you to the spiritual realm. This connection allows you to transcend your physical body or experience out of the body and astral travel across time and space. This means that with dedicated practice, you can go anywhere in the universe, anytime in the universe. Which, that last line is a bunch of malarkey. But the whole point is, your third eye connects you to a plane where time and space doesn't exist, which is a spiritual realm, which is how you have more lucid and vivid dreams. The Lord sends you visions. Here we go. Increased imagination and creativity. Your third eye connects you to a spiritual plane of existence and access to universal consciousness. So it says it gives you access to universal consciousness. And that's the scriptures, Nate. That's the spiritual understanding of the scriptures. Since all problems already have a solution existing in the same plane, in the same place, Lakia, With access to this, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the name, you will feel your imagination, creativity, and memory are supercharged. So the reason why they can't see that the chip is a mark of the beast, or the reason why they can't see that Cornelius is an Israelite, or that the multitude, 144,000 the elect, aren't all going to look like Shaft, they're going to look like some other nations, is because they don't have an imagination. They can't imagine it. They can't even fathom that, you know? They can't even wrap that around their heads because their pineal gland is calcified, and this is what their brain looks like. You know? But when there are ways to decalcify your pineal gland, but not for them, man. You know, hell, maybe praying to Yahweh, maybe if they even start praying to the Lord now, it's probably not gonna work. But you know, as long as your pineal gland is calcified, your so-called third eye, as they call it, you won't be able to imagine or think about the reality of the scriptures, man. You know, your pineal gland is calcified, and you have that delusion on you, set from the Lord. You won't be able to think upon the whole rape doctrine, man. You won't be able to think upon the whole harlot doctrine, or any of those so-called doctrines that are universally how do I say it? Against this society, You won't be able to think of any of that. That was it for this article. The article's called ascensiononlifestyle.org. I'll also put it in the description for you brothers. And this is the last scripture. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly." Now, you can't listen to the Spirit if your pineal gland is calcified. "That in the latter times some shall depart from the faith," which have already started happening. Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Nate, HODC, GOCC, Sakari, you guys departed from the faith and gave heed to seducing spirits, man, and doctrines of devils, man. You had Satan whispering in your ear all of those doctrines, and you went with it, man. Speaking lies and hypocrisy. Nate, aren't you the biggest hypocrite in all Israel, man? Oh, keep the law, keep the law, keep the law. But it looks like to me here, that looks like a shape up. That looks like a lining. Yeah, what's up too? So that looks like hypocrisy to me. It says, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. And I wanted to go into this seared with a hot iron.
Strong's G 2743, Calcification.
Calcification, which means to mark by branding, to brand, branded with their own consciences, whose souls are branded with the marks of sin, who carry about with them the perpetual conscience of sin, seared, in the medical sense, the cauterized remover of cautery. Now let's look up this word seared.
Just as much as a sin is killing a person and stealing and everything else, it's a sin.
To sear, burn or scorch the surface of something with a sudden intense heat, of pain, to experience as a sudden burning sensation. But the point is this: burn or scorch the surface of something with a sudden intense heat. So your consciences have been seared with a hot iron, meaning your pineal gland has been burned out. Your brain is being burned out. Like if you were in an electric chair and your brain is getting fried by electricity and you eventually go brain dead, that's what's happening to you right now. Your consciences are seared, and your pineal gland is calcified, and nothing's getting in there. But you have nothing there to hold. You're like cisterns that hold no water. There's nothing in your brain that can hold information or hold the spiritual aspect of the scriptures, man. So going back, it says, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. So nothing's getting in, nothing's getting out, man. You know, you niggas are just destined to be put to death. It says forbidding to marry. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. But you know, the main point was, you know, your pineal glands are, your whole spirituality is just totally off, man. It's totally off, and the Lord made it so. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the brothers in the Akim, the true brothers, not the ones that are crept and unawares, but the true brothers, the 144,000 elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai that's pushing the word all over the world in truth and sincerity. Shalom.